Wow, some of these changes look really impressive. Yo, what's good, it's the boy Reviews, and heavy spoilers for Bleach the 1000-Year Blood War arc episode 7, Born in the Dark. You have been warned. I may pronounce some of the names and powers of this episode wrong, so I do apologize for that. First up, the first major changes appears in the flashback sequence of 1,000 years ago, showing the original 13 court guard squads, and the major change comes from the Quincy King's mustache being removed in the Blu-ray edition. I think by doing this, we can see the difference between the flashback scenes and the present scenes because the viewer may be a bit confused. I think the beard represents the passage of time from the past all the way to the present. Next up, if you notice here in the TV version, they reduced the white area in the Blu-ray, being replaced by a deeper shade of blue. More of the VFX is shown clearly in this little ball of light, where the TV version looked a bit more blurry. Next up, the Quincy King's face has been slightly redesigned. The way he looks down at Yamamoto in the TV version, it looks like he pities him just before he blasts him with his powers. But in the Blu-ray version, he's almost looking down on him like he's disappointed with Yamamoto, but that's just how I interpret this scene. How do you feel about the new change and the new expressions? Next up, this new change is a blink and you'll miss it moment. See the white cloth tied around Ichigo's waist? The Blu-ray version shows some new animated elements of Ichigo's tattered outfit flapping in the wind. Next up, they added a yellow glow surrounding Ichigo Kurosaki with yet another blink and you'll miss it moments for 2 frames only. One of the debris that flies past Ichigo is actually painted red in the Blu-ray, as well as the red explosion behind Ichigo being a lighter shade of red in the Blu-ray. Next up, as Ichigo Kurosaki and the Quincy King come face to face in this dramatic clash, the Blu-ray enhanced this shot a little bit by removing some of the blurriness in the TV version. They added more white coloring around the red explosion in the Blu-ray, as well as the dust cloud being a lighter shade compared to the television version. You can also see some of the red streaks of Ichigo's Bankai as he's clashing with the Quincy King. But the high point of the episode, Ichigo versus the Quincy King, while the main animation of the two of them fighting one another is more or less the same, not only are the VFX slightly changed in terms of the coloring, but the sky is either darker or lighter in certain areas in the Blu-ray. There is also one frame in this sequence where blink and you'll miss it, you won't even notice it. But I must admit, I was a bit disappointed they removed this awesome red glow covering Ichigo's face in this panel, but I must admit I do love some of the particle effects they added in when the Quincy King attacks Kurosaki Ichigo. Next up, you get a new head turn animation of Ichigo as he's being grabbed by the Quincy King. I don't quite feel like it was necessary to add this sequence, but it's cool nevertheless. Next up, you can clearly see the Quincy King's sword being reflected into Ichigo's eye in the Blu-ray. They removed the beautiful yellow glow behind Ichigo and completely removed all the color in this sequence. I personally prefer the TV version, it just looks cooler. Next up, notice the background is darker in the Blu-ray. They added a blue glow over the rubble covering Ichigo and the blue vein that was emitted from Ichigo's neck. The glow has been removed from it, as well as the Blu-ray removing the grayish blue filter covering Ichigo, so you see more of his orange hair. Once again, I prefer the television version. I just love the moodiness of this scene. Next up, just before Meninus McAllen walks into her portal, you can clearly see that the Blu-ray expanded the portal, as well as the Blu-ray adding some additional dark blue particle effects inside the portal. And finally, as Hashwelt cuts Ichigo's sword in two, they added some rim lighting onto the sword. And those are all the major changes of episode 7, Born in the Dark. Every other scene in this episode is exactly the same, from the TV to the Blu-ray. It's just those major changes that are different. But tell me in the comments down below, what do you guys think of this episode? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you like the changes or not? Tell me. Like this video, subscribe for more Bleach TV versus Blu-ray comparisons, breakdowns, rankings, and more, as well as other anime updates and all that jazz. But thank you for watching, and as always, a boy did review signing out.